From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Woodruff. President Bush is on the verge of naming a new Supreme Court nominee after the worst political week of his presidency. That's our top story tonight. Now, the rest of the headlines. In the nation's capital tonight, Rosa Parks makes history again, receiving an honor usually reserved for presidents and generals. The FBI investigates a massive case of flu fraud. More than 1,000 people got fake vaccinations. How to make sure your shot is real. And the four-legged firefighters. One city's innovative and inexpensive approach to keeping wildfires away. But we begin with President Bush's next pick for the Supreme Court. It is widely anticipated that the president will choose a nominee very soon. After a swift rejection of Harriet Miers and the indictment of his vice president's chief of staff, Mr. Bush does need some good news this week. The person he picks and how he or she is received could have major implications for his presidency. ABC's Jeff Morrell tonight is at the White House. Jeff?
Bob, this weekend, the White House floated the names of 3 prospective nominees to an influential conservative group. The group would not identify any of them, but tells me 2 of the 3 are women. Whoever's on that list, it appears to have been whittled down to 1 because every indication out of the White House is that the president will announce his next nominee tomorrow. President Bush spent the weekend conferring with Harriet Miers, his first choice for the job, about who should replace her as the next nominee.
I believe the Supreme Court is so important.
But she's not the only one offering advice.
The president should come forward with some middle-of-the-road person, somebody that is going to be a good Supreme Court justice.
Some say Mr. Bush, coming off the worst political week of his presidency, has been so weakened he cannot afford to wage war with Senate Democrats over anyone deemed too conservative.
So help me God.
But others argue the president's weakness dictates he pick a tried and true conservative.
I think the need to please the conservative base is probably paramount at this stage because if they aren't supporting him, he has almost no support.
That is why tomorrow the president is expected to nominate someone of unquestionable intellectual qualifications and proven conservative credentials.
Looking forward to having a good discussion.
In other words, say conservative groups, all that Harriet Miers is not.
We're more confident now than we were in the past that President Bush is going to pick a good nominee, and that's because there are a lot of lessons learned in the Harriet Miers nomination.
And the John Roberts nomination teaches that it is possible to nominate a conservative even some Democrats will support.
It's just wrong to say that the president has to choose between pleasing his conservative supporters or pleasing the broad middle of the country. You can do both. That's what he did with John Roberts.
The White House says that neither the Miers fiasco nor any of the president's other problems will influence his decision-making on that matter. They insist he's going to nominate a judicial conservative, just as he promised during the campaign. But, Bob, they were saying the same thing about Harriet Miers, and look what happened to her.
Yeah, they felt they didn't get that. Jeff, on the other major matter of the day, the White House has had a couple of days now to digest the indictment of the vice president's chief of staff, Scooter Libby. Any fallout from that yet?
Well, Time magazine is reporting the president has lost confidence in his 3 top advisors, the vice president, Andy Carr, the chief of staff, and Karl Rove, his top political advisor. But the White House tonight is pushing back hard on that, calling the story nonsense and insisting that the president has the full confidence, or rather has full confidence in his entire staff.
All right, Jeff Morrell at the White House tonight. Thank you. The CIA leak case is complex. For an interactive slideshow that shows how all the players are involved, you can go to abcnews.com. The legal troubles have damaged the Bush administration's public image. According to an ABC News Washington Post poll released today, 55% of Americans see the indictment of Dick Cheney's chief of staff as a sign of broader ethical wrongdoing. And the president's disapproval rating has now reached a new high of 58%. Historically, scandals have affected most modern presidents after re-election. ABC's John Yang tonight on the curse of the second term.
November 2004, President Bush wins re-election.
I earned capital in the campaign, political capital, and now I intend to spend it.
A year later, that capital is running low.
Special Counsel Fitzgerald's investigation and ongoing legal proceedings are serious.
It's not only the indictment of a top administration official, it's Hurricane Katrina, the rising death toll in Iraq, and a failed Supreme Court nomination.
Harriet, thank you for agreeing to serve.
President Bush's presidency is moving from embattled to dysfunctional. He's squandered so much credibility in the last 12 months that it's going to be difficult to rebound.
For nearly a century, scandal and turmoil have been the norm for second-term presidents as they go through their own special kind of sophomore slump. Dwight Eisenhower's chief of staff was forced to resign in an ethics scandal. Ronald Reagan was dogged by illegal arms sales to Iran that funded Central American rebels. Bill Clinton was impeached, though not convicted, over his relationship with Monica Lewinsky.
I wonder sometimes why presidents think they need to serve 8 years. It usually messes up their historical legacy no end.
Only Richard Nixon's second term ended in disaster. The others were able to rebound, and Mr. Bush may be able to as well.
I think they can redirect our attention and put their energies into the more immediate problems at hand.
A shift that could mean abandoning lofty second-term goals such as overhauling Social Security and federal tax laws. John Yang, ABC News, Washington.
Tonight, one of the country's heroes has a place of honor in the nation's capital. Rosa Parks helped launch the civil rights movement by refusing to give her bus seat up in 1955 to a white passenger. The president and first lady were among thousands of people who went to the Capitol Rotunda to pay their respects tonight. Rosa Parks is the first woman and only the second African American to be honored this way. It is one of the nation's highest symbols of respect to lie in honor here, one that has been bestowed only 30 times in history. Rosa Parks will be the 31st.
She was really one of the forerunners, the person who took the first stand and who will always be in all of the American history textbooks. So the Congress felt that it was very appropriate that she should lie in honor in the Capitol.
It's been reserved mostly for government figures, presidents from Abraham Lincoln to John F. Kennedy to Ronald Reagan, top generals such as Douglas MacArthur, and a director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. Not all have been individuals, unknown soldiers of World Wars I and II, Korea and Vietnam. Not all were public figures. In 1998, 2 Capitol policemen were given the honor after they were killed protecting the building.
The United States Capitol building was actually built by slave labor. The Statue of Freedom on top of the dome was cast by a slave.
And now Rosa Parks will take her place in history here, in a building that was still racially segregated when she refused to give up her seat 50 years ago. A well-deserved honor. An important story tonight for anyone interested in getting a flu vaccine. Worries about the avian flu and a possible shortage of regular vaccine this winter have set the stage for dangerous scams. ABC's Dean Reynolds reports on a major incident in Texas.
Tomorrow, the director of this Houston clinic, the man at the center of the alleged vaccine scam, will be in court. Iyad Abu El-Hawa faces at least 10 years in prison if convicted on Medicare fraud charges. As many as 1,600 employees of ExxonMobil, as well as 14 residents of a nursing home, were injected with what apparently was purified water.
We are trying to ascertain as quickly as possible whether more victims received fake flu shots and whether they too are at risk.
To be safe, public health officials want those who got the shots to also be tested for HIV and hepatitis.
The uncertainty of what was injected into your body is a key concern of people.
The suspect was arrested preparing to deliver vaccines to hurricane-ravaged Lake Charles, Louisiana, raising questions about how widespread the problem may be.
Medical professionals say there is heightened public concern about the flu this season, and that can provide an opening for scam artists.
People should ask questions about the manufacturer and make sure a record of their shot is kept when they get one.
And there you go. Thank you.
The public is more vulnerable this year to the commission of fraud because there's a general fear about avian influenza, and there is recent memory about vaccine shortages from last year.
Still, at a church in Naperville, Illinois today, hundreds of people lined up.
I have confidence that getting the real stuff.
Is it a leap of faith?
Yeah.
So go ahead and get the shot.
I'll give you a little pinch here.
But try to know who's giving it. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Naperville, Illinois.
On Tuesday, President Bush is expected to announce the government's plan for handling a possible pandemic that could emerge from the avian flu. The plan will likely include isolating the sick, distributing food, and administering vaccines. Still ahead on World News Tonight, the woman behind the first not-for-profit drug company fighting to produce cures for some of the world's deadliest diseases. How these homeowners are beating high energy bills and why their utility company sends them a check. And at the end of the broadcast, goats doing what goats do best and preventing fires along the way.
This is World News Tonight. Brought to you by Kellogg's Toasted Honey Crunch Cereal.
Hi, Smith from Archives. We've got a little problem that I think you as the head of HR need to know about. It's called Johnson, and it needs to go bye-bye. This gentleman refuses to leave. He's a troublemaker that needs to be...
Kellogg's Toasted Honey Crunch. So crunchy, so honey, so clustery, so good.
You're in on it, aren't you?
Kellogg's Toasted Honey Crunch. Sounds good.
If you've had a heart attack that reduced how well your heart pumps, hear this. Your heart medications may not be enough protection. Coreg is FDA approved to increase your chance of survival when taken over time. Adding Coreg to your current treatment can help prevent another heart attack. Coreg reduces your heart's workload to help it pump better. That should be music to your ears.
Coreg is not for everyone, including people prone to asthma, heart rhythm problems, slow heart rate, or liver problems. Once you start Coreg, you should continue as directed by your doctor. Patients who abruptly stop may experience chest pain or an increased risk of heart attack. In some cases, patients may experience dizziness or faintness when starting Coreg. You should avoid driving or hazardous tasks if this occurs.
See your doctor to find out if Coreg is right for you. Help protect your heart with Coreg.
Denture wearers, we stained a string of pearls in barbecue sauce, not just to prove the stain-removing strength of Efferdent Plus or the freshening power of its Listerine ingredients, but to give every denture wearer the confidence to show those pearly whites. The confident clean of Efferdent Plus.
Lunesta. People everywhere are discovering it. What are you waiting for? Talk to your doctor to see if Lunesta could make a difference for you.
Hey, my son just said something smart.
It's my friend Sid. He's not as dumb as he looks.
Talk to someone close to you about new Medicare prescription drug coverage. It can save them money, give them peace of mind, and make you look good.
I just made up for 40 years of disappointing my parents.
Go to Medicare.gov for information on the plans in your area. Sign up for Medicare prescription drug coverage begins November 15th.
I forgive you for marrying Bob. Rob, whatever.
Monday, rebuilding New Orleans. Why some are saying the wrong people are taking over. Is it a question of race? Plus, starting Tuesday, one whole month, one groundbreaking series all about smoking and lung cancer. Quit to live. Only on World News Tonight.
Another hurricane tonight. Hurricane Beta, the record 13th of the season, made landfall in Central America today. Beta crashed ashore in Nicaragua as a Category 2 storm with 105-mile-an-hour winds. Thousands of people scrambled for shelter ahead of the storm. It is not a threat to the U.S. Much of New England got its first real taste of winter weather early today. Heavy snow fell in and around Boston, part of a storm that hit eastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. But the sledding and the snowmen didn't last long. The temperature in Boston topped 60 degrees this afternoon. There are still 51 days until the official start of winter, but most Americans are already bracing for higher heating bills. The average cost to heat a home will be more than $1,000 this season, up 33% from a year ago. But as ABC's Bob Jamieson reports, there are ways to lower your costs no matter where in the country you live.
In Arizona, it's the steady sun that's beating soaring energy costs. This is a zero-energy home in Tucson, where solar power produces heat, air conditioning, even hot water. And the monthly bills? Just ask retired businessman Jose Reyes and his wife Marciala.
We pay between, on the average, $20 to $28.
Bills can be as low as $5 a month, a savings of $250 a month.
They are very nice, very easy to pay.
Zero-energy homes are springing up in developments across the West. Built with 3 times as many panels as a conventional solar-powered home, The Reyes sometimes sell power back to the local utility. Then their electric meter actually runs backward.
We will save enough energy in this development to power 10 times that many homes that are built under normal conditions.
The Reyes spent $28,000 more than they would have on a normal home. With smaller bills and tax rebates, that cost will be recaptured in 5 years. Builders say solar power is perfect for the climate here with its 340 days of sun. But here in Ohio, there is seldom sun during the long winter heating season, so residents are finding an alternative. They're finding it in a hole in the ground. That's where contractors are building geothermal power units. Loops of water-filled pipe are buried below the frost line. From there, they pass the Earth's internal heat through a special furnace.
These are 1.25 inch main lines.
Contractor Bill Spade has never been busier installing the $15,000 units.
When you go from doing a couple jobs a year to like 4 jobs a month, it's a big change.
There's a simple reason. Geothermal heat will cost about $1,100 over the next year, compared to more than $3,000 for natural gas and more than $4,000 for heating oil. Back in Arizona, the Reyes are convinced their $28,000 cost is a good investment.
If we had put that money on the bank, will I be getting $200, $250 a month in return? I don't think so.
And Reyes says, unlike oil, the cost of the sun remains constant. Bob Jimison, ABC News, Tucson.
As always, we'd like to tell you about some of the things coming up this week. On Tuesday, the Federal Reserve is expected to boost short-term interest rates. It would be the 12th increase since June of last year. On Wednesday, Prince Charles and his wife Camilla visit the White House for the first time together. And on Thursday, President Bush travels to Argentina for a summit with Latin American leaders, where he's expected to face criticism over the war in Iraq. In Iraq, in Baghdad today, the brother of one of Iraq's vice presidents was shot and killed on his way to work at the prime minister's office. It was one of several attacks this weekend targeting government officials and advisors. In a separate ambush, Iraq's trade minister was injured and 2 of his bodyguards were killed. When we come back, finding cures for the world's worst diseases. One woman's crusade to save the forgotten.
Because she loves goldfish. Yellow skirts. Green jeans. Red dresses, and red heads. Her mom loves the blue envelope. Valpak and Valpak.com. There's something in it for you.
Look inside your Valpak envelope. Win movie tickets to Yours, Mine, and Ours. And enter for a chance to win a $5,000 shopping spree from Bed Bath & Beyond at Valpak.com. Yours, Mine, and Ours. In theaters November 23rd.
Good improvement.
Thank you, doctor.
Cholesterol's down. Well done.
Great. Hello, doctor's office.
And I gotta tell you, nice job.
Oh, Mr. Decker?
I told you we'd get it down.
Yep, even doctors can have high cholesterol. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor can lower your bad cholesterol from 39 to 60%. In fact, more cardiologists surveyed said they'd prescribe Lipitor for their own family members than any other cholesterol brand. Lipitor is one of many cholesterol-lowering treatment options in addition to diet and exercise that you and your doctor can consider. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or who may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of a rare but serious side effect. Ask your doctor about Lipitor today.
My dad and I have been in the septic business for over 40 years. A septic system today can cost many, many thousands of dollars to replace. In my opinion, using Rid-X once a month makes costly repairs less likely.
Rid-X uses 100% natural bacteria and enzymes to break down hard-to-dissolve waste, even paper, to help keep your septic system operating efficiently and prevent backups between pumpings.
I've always recommended Rid-X, and I've never recommended anything else.
Rid-X, the #1 septic treatment brand.
Hey, you okay? It's this arthritis pain. Arthritis pain? You've got to try my Aleve.
People with arthritis are sharing their good news about Aleve.
Oh, honey, you've got to try this Aleve.
Good news about the strength and safety of Aleve.
Try my Aleve, Mom. It's amazing.
Good news that only Aleve has the strength to stop arthritis pain all day with just 2 pills. That would take 8 Tylenol. Aleve, That's good news you'll want to share.
Tonight, ABC News, together with Time Magazine, is launching an unprecedented week-long series, Prescription for Survival, focusing on global health issues that affect all of us. Tonight's subject, the world's worst diseases, and why most of them are ignored by major drug companies, despite the fact that they make millions of people sick. ABC's Judy Muller reports from San Francisco.
They're called neglected diseases. Parasitic illnesses that afflict millions of people in poor countries, mostly in Africa and Asia. Neglected because most drug companies don't make medicines for people who cannot afford to pay.
These people don't represent a market. There's no return on investment there.
Black fever, almost 100% fatal. Elephantiasis, more than 40 million people disfigured. River blindness, more than 250,000 blinded. Sleeping sickness, also fatal, spread by the tsetse fly. And the big killers, malaria and children's diarrhea. These neglected tropical diseases aren't being neglected by everyone. They're getting the attention of one organization here in San Francisco. The Institute for One World Health is the nation's first not-for-profit pharmaceutical company.
Hi, Victoria. Hi.
Company founder Victoria Hale is a former pharmaceutical scientist who came up with a solution. Look for existing drugs that have been dropped by the big companies. Drugs that could be used to cure these neglected diseases. Her first target, black fever.
You hemorrhage and die. It's a terrible way to die.
Using an off-patent drug called paramomycin and funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, One World Health has finished clinical trials in India that cured 94% of the patients. Great progress, but there are a lot of other parasites out there.
The problem with infectious diseases is the bug that you're going after changes, it mutates, it develops resistance. So you have to keep developing new medicines, and it is that which is not happening.
Drug companies, of course, are businesses, not charities, but some are getting involved. Merck took an existing heartworm medicine for dogs and turned it into a very effective treatment for river blindness in people.
We were lucky enough to find something that worked, and we've done what we can to make it available. In fact, we've donated more than 1 billion tablets.
Even so, the diseases that afflict 90% of the world's population get only 10% of the health dollars. Most of those dollars go to Western lifestyle problems, cholesterol, digestive problems, erectile dysfunction.
I take Viagra.
I am frustrated. I understand it, though. And I believe that the way to address it is not to go in and change this enormous system that exists, but to build a system that can work with what already exists and to make it happen.
And in one corner of the world, this one company is doing just that. Judy Muller, ABC News, San Francisco.
And tonight, one more note from overseas. The most famous cathedral in Dresden, Germany, finally reopened today, 60 years after U.S. and British bombs destroyed most of the city and killed 25,000 people in World War II. Today, 60,000 people turned out to celebrate the reconstruction of the Church of Our Lady. Coming up, California's secret weapon against wildfires.
What cooks like butter, spreads like butter, and has a fresh dairy taste like butter without the cholesterol and high saturated fat? Smart Balance Buttery Spread. Smart Balance just received another Best Taste Award and is endorsed by professional chefs. It's the only spread with a patented balance of fats to help increase HDL good cholesterol and avoids trans fat naturally, not artificially as some spreads do. Smart Balance. You're going to love that buttery taste.
We're going to Las Vegas.
Thanks to Polydent, I'm flying free.
We're going to Florida.
And thanks to Polydent, I'm flying free.
It's true. Buy 5 boxes of Polydent and 1 airline ticket and get a second ticket free worth up to $500. You can fly to over 100 places on most airlines. We're going to New York. Yeah, New York. For details, see specially marked boxes or visit Polydent.com. Polydent. Buy 5, fly a friend free.
Okay, so remember your old kitchen?
Yeah.
Well, get ready for an improvement. Look!
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
They work miracles. 3 new Total cereals.
Oh my gosh!
New Total with strawberries. New Total vanilla yogurt. And New Total honey clusters.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's a whole new start.
My name is Sarah, and I'm not an actress. I went through 2 or 3 years of not being able to sleep. I got great sheets, I had the perfect pillows. Nothing worked for me. I went to my doctor. She said, you know what, I'm gonna give you a prescription for Ambien. I tried it that night, and it helped me get a good night's sleep. When you go that long without sleep, you have no idea what it's like when you finally get to sleep. I'm very happy I found Ambien.
Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed, or longer as advised by your doctor. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. All sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Memory problems can usually be avoided by taking Ambien only when you can devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep. Talk to your doctor. Ambien works like a dream.
A victim of domestic violence.
She's a survivor.
Who sacrificed it all to raise her 8 kids. Now she'll get a dream house her family can call home. All new Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Tonight, 8/7 Central. Only on ABC.
Finally this evening, this year's wildfire season has certainly been a mild one, especially compared to last year, when nearly 7 million acres went up in smoke. But without the fires, there's a lot of extra brush around, and that's where the goats come in. ABC's Brian Rooney explains.
Nature built these hills to burn, which was not a problem until civilization moved in. In 1991, a brush fire in the hills above Oakland burned nearly 3,000 homes. Now, at a cost of up to $15,000 an acre, constant clearing of flammable hillside brush is an expensive problem. The answer, the city of Oakland has found, is goats.
They are eating machines. I call them my 3,000 non-unionized city employees.
Goats are voracious. They eat leaves, branches, thistles, even the poison oak that wildland firefighters hate. Goats are agile on steep hillsides where it is difficult for humans to work. The average goat eats about 5% of its body weight every day. So if the brush was up to your knees and you had 40 goats that weighed about 100 pounds each, it would take them less than a week to clear an acre of land. This is what a herd of goats did on a hillside in Laguna Beach in just 36 hours. Goats fed, fire danger gone. It's not without controversy. Some people complain that the goats strip the hills too bare. There are companies that rent out thousands of goats for hillside clearance. Sometimes residents need to be convinced of the benefits.
It's not a machine that's running in their backyard all day long. And once they've had them, they want them.
In the hills above Laguna Beach, where fire burned nearly 400 homes in 1993, Gary Schwager loves to watch the goats at work.
We get a bottle of red wine, and we sit out here, and some cheese, and we really feel like we're in France.
And in California, it's a way of beating nature by using it. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Laguna Beach.
That is World News Tonight. I'm Bob Woodruff. Have a good night.
The only thing better than Mom being leader of the free world is Dad being commissioner of baseball.
Tell your dad to take the job. I can't believe he would pursue this.
Can you make me a better offer? An all-new Commander-in-Chief, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Moments away on Eyewitness News, parts of a body found in 2 separate locations. We're live with the investigation.
Plus, new information on the man who went on a shooting spree in an Orange County community, how he's described by one neighbor.
And a different kind of anti-war demonstration. This one's organized by military veterans.
There was a teacher who verbally abused her students and showed R-rated movies. Because of tenure rules, she wasn't fired. The district paid her $25,000 to resign.
This is not a partisan issue. It's a teacher quality issue. Support Prop 74 and put the kids first.
There's nothing like being the first. To see something, to drive something no one else has. Introducing Pontiac's new release party. Be one of the first to experience our new releases. The most new models in our history.
The Pontiac G6 sedan delivers outstanding gas mileage, and with Pontiac's Total Value Promise,